Alright, welcome everybody to Atgames Pinball. Today we're going to be going over a review of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the pinball game for the 4KP, the HDP system, which is brand new, and the HD/micro ecosystem from Atgames. So, what I'm going to be doing first, I'm going to do a full review of the game, give you my thoughts and comments on it, and then if you're interested in learning how to play the game, I'm going to do a full tutorial after that. So if you're interested in that, you could stick around. If not, drop off. Post your comments and questions and thoughts on the game yourself in the comments, and I'll love to hear those. So let's start off with my thoughts on the game, a little bit about it. So Ninja Turtles, this game has been rumored for quite a while. We knew it was coming. Actually got to play this a couple of weeks ago at the Chicago Pinball Expo. It wasn't officially released yet, but I got a chance to play it. I really liked it. This only confirms more of what I've seen before in the past. It's even better than I thought it was. It was a very loud environment. I didn't get to hear a lot of it. So I'm definitely going to dig into this, and we're gonna check it out. All right, Ninja Turtles, awesome game. It is pretty loud music-wise, so I'm gonna keep it quiet a little bit towards.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
You can see it's obviously licensed by Nintendo, developed by Magic Pixel. So, actually, I'll turn this volume down just briefly. We're going to go over the overview of the actual table itself. Pretty awesome looking layout, quite frankly. There is some things that I want to bring up that people have pointed out to me over the course of the last couple of days. My initial thoughts on this game were this is a top 3 Magic Pixel game, and I still agree with that. But there are some things that I want to knock down because of that. First of all, some of the complaints that I've heard, there's no weapons on the playfield. There is actually, but if you look at the back glass, you can notice they do not have their weapons shown at all on the back glass. That's understandable. But you look on the DMD, Raphael is holding his size. You'll also see on the playfield here, Raph has his size, Donatello has his bow staff, Michelangelo uses his nunchucks, and Leonardo even has his katana up in the upper left. Obviously, Shredder looks very much menacing. He's in his elevated state right now, just to be seen pretty well. And then you notice here the Turtles don't have their weapons at all down in the sewer. So I thought that was interesting. It looks like basically, how I surmise this is that on the back glass it shows them just in New York City, just kind of hanging out. They're not really fighting anybody. They look happy. They don't have their weapons. They don't even have them holstered in their shells or anything, which is a little funny, but at any rate. And they didn't show them on the cabinet art. So I think it's really important that they didn't show them on the cabinet art, probably for a lot of different reasons, but for marketing purposes for sure. They do have them on the apron of the table, on the HDP. There's some 4 symbols across the bottom of the table. So the weapons are shown there. And obviously Shredder on the very front of the HDP has his claws and is look very menacing, of course. So looking at the table itself, the design of the table, it's very much symmetrical. It's straight up and down. You've got pretty much the same thing, both sides, with a small couple of changes. The first thing you'll notice is this under playfield, right smack dab in the middle. It does have additional 2 flippers. The complaints that I've heard and that these flippers are too prominent, they feel like they should be activating and they're visually distracting. I don't necessarily find that. I feel like they're tucked away down there enough that they're not too big of a deal. Although somebody had mentioned a color change. I think a color change would have actually helped that quite a bit. Or they could have made this even darker. They did make it darker, but if they went even a little shade darker yet. I know the real table, Black Hole, does a really good job of that. Like, you can't see anything down there at all. And then when you go down there, it lights itself up and you can actually see everything in the lower playfield. So that would have been an option. I don't know that, I wish that they did a little more with the lower playfield, but we'll get to that in a minute. Looking around the playfield, I love the graphic art. You have down here at the bottom, you have the Ninja Turtles enjoying some pizza, pepperoni pizza. You have all the Ninja Turtles here, as we talked about. You have Krang, you have Splinter over here, you have Rocksteady and Bebop. You have April O'Neil. The only person you're really missing is Casey Jones, and he was kind of a accessory character, never really became too popular later on, and he was what he was. So anyway, and obviously Shredder is paramount to the entire experience of Ninja Turtles and the Foot Clan and stuff like that. You don't see any foot soldiers necessarily on the playfield, but you do see their faces on these end caps for the ramps that are spot targets. That is a new element that we've never seen before from Magic Pixel that I can think of. I tried to go over some of the older tables and I couldn't remember ever seeing them. Thought that was interesting. And then they have some drop targets down in the bottom here, or spot targets of Foot Clan soldiers down here. So there's that. Capture hole off to the left. This lower playfield is not accessible most of the time, which is pretty interesting, but actually makes it great because it's not exploitable. It's really important. We've had a lot of Magic Pixel tables where it's an exploitable upper or lower playfield. That is not the case here. Pretty clean rule set. It's a very deep rule set, and I'm going to be able to go through the entire tutorial as well. There's a lot to talk about. These rails, they look really, really good. Very plain. I mean, they're just silver, just your typical steel rails, or however you want to address them. Everything's pretty well labeled. You got orange for Michelangelo, blue for Donatello, red for Raphael, purple for Donatello. All the color schemes work really well. I think that it was nice that they did a shell shield. They actually show a shell there. They could have done maybe something, made the actual post a different color or something like that, but not too big of a deal. Here's the afternoon and night modes if you're curious. Obviously darkens it right up, adds a little more aesthetic feel depending on the time of day that you're playing. We've seen a lot of reused elements though, and that was something that people brought up to me. They use these same exact ramps. We've seen these ramps and these lights on the front of the ramps again and again and again. So there's that thing every single time. You do have... I actually like the layout of the playfield. It's pretty playable. There's a lot going on, and it really works for the diversity of the rule set. The modes are pretty easy to get into. Most of the modes are simply just hitting Shredder, so there's that. But the beauty of the table is quite nice. I think it's a really good table. The one thing that I will say, if I had to rate this table, where's the theming could be even stronger. So we're going to back out just for a quick second here, and I'm going to show you Sea of Thieves. Now, Sea of Thieves and Nature's Sphere are two games that I rated 10 out of 10. And these are 10 out of 10 for Magic Pixel ratings. These are not comparable to the Zen tables. They have a different scale altogether. So Sea of Thieves, when we look at this table, what's different about it? The theming is really, really strong in this one. You have the pirate ship. The artwork is very much set to Sea of Thieves, which it should be, and it is for Ninja Turtles as well. But I think they could have gone even further. You notice these big palm trees in the back. You have these rails are no longer wires, they're like ropes. That is a really in-depth feature, which really adds well to it. These big old lanterns are they're specific to this particular table. The bumpers, which we don't have in the Ninja Turtle table, actually has the Sea of Thieves logo on them. This table in particular has not only the Sea of Thieves logo, but it also has the Kraken that comes up out of the playfield and does something there as well. You have the Skeleton Lord up there, which is, I would attribute kind of the same as Shredder in the TMNT table. Okay, so this table did a lot of really cool, unique things to make it its own thing, and I really appreciate that. If we jump over to Nature's Fury, this table is much more generic in nature, but what's special about this one is that it had a lot of really cool digital effects that you did not get in a lot of other games. You got the thunderstorm that you got the tornado, you got the earthquake, you got the volcano action. Awesome callouts in this one. A really easy multi-ball. I gave this one a 10 just because it's so fun to play. Totally different than Ninja Turtles. So let's jump back to Ninja Turtles. And like I said, I really like this table. But what doesn't set us apart is that its theming could be even stronger. The playfield itself is beautiful. But these ramps, I think they could have done a lot more with. Maybe they add some color or maybe a particular type of material to these rails to give it something a little extra. Where's the turtle van? Give me a turtle van somewhere on here. Maybe the New York skyline is even more prominent. Make some physical elements as opposed to just kind of a backdrop. I would have loved to have seen like a vertical-esque type of prominent statue, buildings coming out of there. Or maybe that bridge is actually there. I don't know. Just the theming could have been a little better with that. So, as far as the gameplay, I think the gameplay is rock solid. The physics are really, really good. I'm going to show a little bit of gameplay, and then I'll give a rating for it, and then we'll jump into the full tutorial after that, which you're welcome to drop off if you're not interested in.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
We'll turn it up a little bit so you can hear everything. We're going to start off with a skill shot, just because it's something super easy to show.
Time heroes in a half shell. Let's show Shredder what real ninjas can do.
There it is.
Skill shot.
All you have to do is hit Shredder within 10 seconds of the plunge. Straight up, simple. We'll just play a little bit and see what you guys think of the sounds and music. Game has lots of combos, so it has an ability to score points in a lot of different ways, which is really, really nice. You don't have to do modes necessarily, but modes are very profitable.
Heist. Hit the center loop 3 times.
In the event that you did not start a mode on your own, like I didn't here, you start what's basically like a side mode. And there's 5 of those. And if you complete all 5 of those can get you 20 million points too. So there's lots of different ways to score points, which is actually a really nice feature of this table. Magic Pixel tables don't always have a good way to score points, or they'll be like kind of gimmicky, like they like to do multi-ball, or they like to do just modes, which are not very few, but some of them do that. I'm not doing very good in this mission, and it just failed because these missions are timed. So the main missions are not, which is actually a really good thing to think about.
Bonus times 2.
They did a nice job to not force that on the player. So, Combo City. I think the game plays incredibly well. The physics, they're not overly bouncy. I think they're pretty rock solid. The last maybe 5 or 6 releases that we've gotten from Magic Pixel, I think physics-wise have been much better and better and better. They're not near as bouncy as they were, like for a Sea of Thieves, for example, which was very bouncy. This one is much more controllable, and I really, really enjoy this game. The one thing it does lack is it does not have a true Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles theme song, even on the entry. If you remember when we played Sea of Thieves or Killer Instinct or even Battletoads, on this screen, when you hit start and it was just sitting there waiting for you to plunge, it would play the actual music. It wouldn't do it during gameplay, but it would do it during intro to the end of the game. That really hurts this table quite a bit. I do think that having the actual Leonardo voice actor from the original cartoon doing the voice for the callouts is awesome. It's a huge catch, a huge get, and it makes this game just so much better. All right. So what do I think of the game, and what do I rate it? Well, I think, first of all, I do in fact think this is a top 3 Magic Pixel table. I'm going to give this one a 9, though. I'm not going to give it a 10. The reason I'm not going to give it a 10 is I think that the theming could have been a little stronger. I'd like to see them utilize some new... they didn't have enough new elements. I think that was something that was brought up to me that I really thought... the more I thought about it, I'm like, yeah, you're really right. They could have done something even more. The fact that this has got its own cabinet, though, kind of takes it away from that, I think. If you look at the HDP, for example, the speaker grills on the actual cabinet have shells on them. You have all the artwork all along, obviously, on the entire cabinet. So I don't know that they needed to go too crazy with that. However, when you look back at Sea of Thieves, they had the same thing. That was a Sea of Thieves cabinet. They really, really went all gangbusters on that table to make it as unique and as its own thing as anything you've seen. So I'm going to give this one a 9. I think it's a great table. I think it's one you absolutely have to have in your arsenal. $8 on the HDP and the $8 on the 4KP and $6 on the HDP, HD, and micro systems. You have to buy it on device on the 4KP and the HDP. The HD and micro, you have to buy it online on the website. So just make sure to point that out. Okay, with all that out of the way, now we're going to talk tutorial. So here we are about 15 minutes in. If you're no longer interested in the tutorial, I totally understand it. Give me your thoughts and comments below what you thought of the game, if I got it right or wrong. And then now we're going to go into some in-depth talk about how to play the actual game. And we'll cover everything we can possibly think of to make sure that it's got everything you can possibly think of for this game. Okay. Let's pull it up. Now, I've got my notes on my phone here that I took, and I'm going to make sure to cover everything I could possibly think of. All right, with Ninja Turtles. So let's go here. We're going to turn off the music here so we don't get confused or get too lost in the woods here.
This mission calls for courage, discipline, and teamwork.
Okay, so for the plunge, we already talked about the skill shot. The skill shot's pretty straightforward. You just do the pullback, you stop the ball, and then you just have to hit shredder. That is your skill shot. That's a 1 million shot, and that's pretty straightforward, right? Simple, easy. All right, ball save. Ball save on this, typically on a Magic Pixel table, you're going to get the ball save by getting the rollover target. So in this case, TURTLE for turtle. That is not the case on this one. If you want to get a ball save on this one, you have to do the left orbit. It's actually the spinner up here, which is kind of nice because it keeps the game moving and keeps the gameplay fresh. You're not always going for rollovers, and you're not going to get them automatically during the multi-ball unless you're hitting that orbit shot. As you see, my multi-ball, or my ball saver is off. So now we're going to go back. I got it back because of the actual side mission that just came on. But that is how you do it. You have to hit this shot basically twice. It's 30 spins to get it back. So that is how you get that to take place. Next, kickbacks. Kickbacks are straightforward. You'd think that kickbacks, again, would generally be something related there. It's not. The kickbacks are right here. You have to hit these 3 spot targets. That will align your kickback and get it to pop up on the right-hand side. You notice there's not a kickback on the left, so be sure to defend this side with your life because it is. That is absolutely the only way to do it. Multipliers. So when you're doing your multipliers on this, because you don't have rollovers at the top, which is what you would typically have for a Magic Pixel table, or really a lot of tables in general, you would generally get your multipliers up there. In this case, you're going to get them from these 2 capture holes. So for Rocksteady and Bebop, one thing I did mention in the review is they switched the names of these during the gameplay. So you'll notice it says defeated Bebop on this side, defeated Rocksteady on this side. They messed that up. They flipped them. So not critical to the game, but it certainly hurt it in a little bit, in my opinion. That should have been caught. They should know these characters left, forward and back when they do a table for this. So the multipliers, you just have to hit these 2 holes, or you have to hit these capture holes 2 times, and it's going to up your multiplier from 2 to 4 to 6 to 8 to 10. After 10, if you hit those a couple different times, you're going to get 3 million points. That's it. You're not going to get an extra ball or anything like that. In fact, there's only two ways to get an extra ball. Now that we've already covered the skill shot, that was the million shot. The next one is extra balls. The only way to get an extra ball on this table is to get 100 million points, which is a grind. And you're going to either do that with combos, you can do it with a combination of modes and combos, side modes, however you want to do it. 100 million points, you get an extra ball. The other way to get an extra ball is to finish all 6 of these modes. So you have Ninja Training, Breaking News, Pizza Time, Mutant Mayhem, Foot Soldier Fury Frenzy, and Turtle Power Multi-Ball. Now these Pizza Time and Turtle Power Multi-Ball are unlocked doing a different scheme than anything else. The other 3 modes get locked or opened up, and the other 4 modes get locked up of different, or accessed in a different way. Ninja weapon combos. So what's going to happen during gameplay is anytime you hit a ramp, it basically lights up all these green lights. Here. Okay, so you got left orbit, right orbit, left ramp, right ramp. You have This is a second right ramp. There's an inner right ramp, I guess you'd call it the inner right ramp, that's going to return it to your in lanes on both sides. And then you have this side you only have a left orbit, and this side you have a additional ramp and then the orbit. This one goes all the way around, so it goes to your second in lane over here. The second in lane over here is not accessible except other than just a drain. So just know that going in. The two safe shots are these two inner ramps that are going to safely return the ball to your in lanes and allows you to fill out turtles. Now, if you want to start modes, which we'll cover here in a second, we'll cut that for just a second. We're going to go straight back to ninja combos. So once you get your ninja combos, you just have to hit these shots repeatedly. So your first shot will be 500,000 points, or 500,000 points, Second one's going to be 1,000,000 points, then 1.5 million, 2 million, and the fifth shot. So the fifth combo, you can't just keep doing combo. This game is smart enough to say, no, we're not going to let you do combos until the cows come home. We're gonna force you to finish that combo sequence. You have to hit Shredder for a final shot for the fifth shot, which gives you 5 million points, and it closes off that combo, seals it up. Then, if you wanted to, you could start combos again, but it keeps the game fresh. It doesn't allow you to go combo like Shooting the Rapids did, which the game became nothing but combos, things like that. So, a really good feature, and I think it actually helps the game quite a bit from getting too busy, too boring. All right. Once all the combo shots are turned off, the Shredder Bash toy is back for an opportunity. So, next up, we're talking about game modes. So, to get into game modes, you have to do a couple different things. Now, you have to bash Shredder to start modes. Now, if you want to start your first mode, you have to hit Shredder 5 times, and that will unlock whatever mode is selected at the time. The modes can be cycled by hitting the slingshots, which is pretty common, Magic Pixel Table. So once you start a mode, it'll light up whatever ones you're going to go through. So let's talk about the modes that we have available. The first one is going to be Ninja Training Mode. So Ninja Training Mode is right here, and it forces you to hit every shot. So like your combos, you have all these shots that you have to hit, okay? So you had your right orbit, your 2 right ramps, your capture hole, your inner loop, which is actually this loop right here goes loop straight around, the mini loop here. You have a shot directly to Shredder. You have this capture hole over here, the ramp, and then the orbit again. So all of those shots will need to be hit to finish the first stage of Ninja Training. Now each one of those shots is like 1,000,000 points. There's actually quite a bit of points within the mode. But it's not the only thing that's associated with that mode. The second stage is where Splinter comes up and he challenges you. There's gonna be a random shot somewhere on the table, and you have to hit that shot within the timed. So modes generally are not timed on this game, but a couple of them are. Pizza Time, for example, is timed, and so is Ninja Training Phase 2. Phase 2 is that Splinter's challenge. It's going to be a random lane. You have to hit it, and you're going to get your 10 million point bonus for finishing that. All right. Breaking news is the April O'Neil mode. This one, again, pretty easy. You're going to bash Shredder a couple times. It's going to kick you into the mode. To actually complete this mode, you have to utilize getting Donatello's GPS or his tracking device. Excuse me. And to do that, you have to hit this left orbit enough times. I think it's twice, generally 30 spins roughly. Let me double check. I believe it's 30 spins. Yes, 30 spins, same as doing your shell shield. You need to light that, and then what happens is they locate April O'Neil. A random shot will pop up. You have to hit that shot. You save April O'Neil, and that's the end of it. Really easy mode. All right, the next one is one of my favorites. So this one is Mutant Mayhem mode. So this is the one where you actually fight Rocksteady and Bebop. You actually have to hit these capture holes 3 times each. So you hit this capture hole 3 times, you hit that capture hole 3 times. When you do that, you defeat Bebop, you defeat Rocksteady, and you complete the mode. Really cool mode. I think they're tough shots to hit, and I really appreciate that one. Really cool. You have to hit each one of them 3 times, and they're 1 million points each. Not too big a deal. All right. Next up is the Foot Soldier Frenzy mode. So we're going to jump over Pizza Time. Well, we already did. We talked about Mutant Mayhem. We're going to jump to Foot Soldier Frenzy. Now, when you get into Foot Soldier Frenzy, you have a couple different things happen. The lower playfield becomes accessible. This pizza drop target drops down, and you can either go down into the lower playfield by going into this capture hole, or you can hit these really new, cool new targets that are at the edge of the ramps, the entry to the ramps. So these purple spot targets, or these lights will pop up. You can hit any of those 5. You don't have to hit all 5. You can hit any combination of them. I usually hit this one right here about 5 times myself. That's the one that I find the easiest to hit. Or you can take the more difficult right flipper shot and go down to the lower playfield and hit foot soldiers down here. Again, you don't have to hit all 5. You have to hit any of them 5 times. And it's any combination of the ones up top or below, so it doesn't really matter which ones you do. Once you do that, you complete the mode, and that's it. Now, what I didn't talk about is when you complete a mode, you also get a hot pursuit mode, which allows you to go down to the lower playfield. This drop target will actually drop down. You'll be able to get into the lower playfield. Now, once you're in here, a timer starts. You start at 5 million points, and it's going to go down over the course of 30 seconds. Now, when you're down here, you have the opportunity to either do orbits or hit drop targets. They're 100 million points per hit. But what's really funny is the fact that that score is actually dropping. You're almost better off just getting in there and draining the ball almost immediately, collecting almost 5 million points, and moving on. You're not going to get enough points in there to really make a difference while you're down there. It's almost better to just let the ball drain. So anyway, but during Foot Soldier Frenzy, that's not that. You have to complete the mode either by hitting any combination of the foot soldiers, 5 up here, 5 down there. Then you'll start the hot pursuit mode, and you can get that 5 million or not, and that's it. Okay. Next up, let's talk about Pizza Time. So Pizza Time mode is pretty simple. It's all about collecting ingredients for a pizza. So these 5 spot targets on this side, this is the only way you can collect this mode. You're not going to get it through Shredder. You have to hit these 5 spot targets 5 times over the course of the game. That's just going to happen naturally at one point or another, so don't really worry about it, but it's going to happen, and Pizza Time is going to start up. Then all of these ramps become active. So all these green targets that we talked about before for quite a few different things, those become active. You hit any of those, it's going to be a million shot every single time. What's nice about that is that while you're collecting these things, you have the opportunity. This is a timed mode, so this is not a ton of time actually. You have a 1-minute timer to go through all of these ramps as many times as you can. You're going to collect a lot of points on this particular mode. The beauty of it is that if you want to, you need at least 3 topics to complete the mode to be able to get to the wizard mode, so that's important. But what's really important is you have the opportunity to reset the timer up to 5 times in this mode by hitting these pizza drop targets and continuing the mode. So you can really rack up some points. Generally, you're going to get between 7 and 10 million points on this mode, but if you reset that thing and you keep hitting target shots, you could get 30 or 40 million points on this if you really continue to it and you really concentrate on it. Really awesome mode, and it just has a lot of value to it, which I didn't think about going in, and now that I know, having gone through this tutorial myself and learning the table, I'm definitely going to try to utilize that where I can. The last mode that you have to get into is called Turtle Power Multiball. Now this one's not particularly easy to get into, but it's going to happen naturally. Remember when we talked about these rollovers that we started to kind of alluded to, they're not for the ball save? Well, they're because they're part of the multi-ball. If you hit these 6 rollover targets, this lock is going to light up, and you're going to have to hit the ball underneath Shredder. He's going to kind of stand up real nice and tall, and you're going to shoot right underneath him, and that is going to lock the ball. If you do that 3 times, you start Turtle Power Multi-Ball. During that time, you have what is it here? You have 3 balls. So you're going to have 3 balls locked out. 3 balls will be launched onto the playfield so that for a total of 4 it's a 4-ball multi-ball. Into the playfield for a 3-ball multi-ball, which is disappointing. Somebody mentioned, why don't they have 4 balls? That for the 4 turtles, that would have been a really good decision. Also, it would have been nice to have the balls be maybe green, or maybe have a stripe, like a red stripe, purple stripe, blue stripe. Purple stripe on the ball, I think, would have been a really cool addition. They could have done something with that. I know they did it with Dr. Seuss and stuff like that, but I digress. It is what it is. And again, you still have to deal with the limitations of the weaker hardware. So the HD and the micro maybe have a limitation with that. One thing I did see just briefly when you start that multi-ball mode, there is a quick frame drop, and then it settles and you're good to go. So I don't know if that's going to happen every time, but I've seen it a couple times. So just be on the lookout for that. Alright, so that is Turtle Ball or Multi-Ball. Now, if you were to complete all 6 of these modes, you're eligible for the Wizard mode. And the Wizard mode, which we don't generally see in a Magic Pixel table, is really cool. Also, it sounds incredibly difficult to me. So, what happens is it's gonna plunge 2 additional balls onto the playfield, and you have to hit Shredder 50 times. 50 times for the Wizard mode. Super difficult. Each hit rewards 1,000,000 points though, so in completing the mode, award will give you an additional 50 million points. So that is a ton of points on this game. As we said, it's not particularly easy to get points. It's going to be a bit of a grind. People are topping out right now at about 200 million points. I think that's definitely going to be the case. People are going to be able to get 500 million points on this, but you're going to probably have to get into that Wizard mode a couple of times, or just do combos and combos and combos and really grind quite a bit. Alright, now we talked about Hot Pursuit mode, but we'll talk about it again here. Anytime you finish one of these modes, you start Hot Pursuit mode. That is when you can get down to the lower playfield. This is, again, it's only, I believe it's a 30-second timer, and you're eluding the police. So you want to get down here. You can hit, again, that timer is going to start at 5 million. It's going to close down in points just as fast as it can. You're almost better off losing the ball immediately than to try to chip away at getting 100,000 points up here. If there was a quick, easy way to just keep hitting orbits and actually let it drain later, I mean, I'm all for trying it, but I don't know that it's going to be worth. I think you're going to lose the ball probably before that really happens. So the last thing we need to talk about on this table is the street justice missions. They're side modes. They happen every 45 seconds. If you haven't already started a mode, and there's a 50% chance that a street mode will trigger in that time. So like if you're not already in a mode, you're not already in a combo series, you're not already doing something on the table that we talked about prior, then you're going to start one of these street justice missions. Now there's mugging in progress, which is the 3 bank spot targets on the left side of the table. So we talked about those. Those are these ones here. So those are the muggings. So those are foot soldiers. So that checks out, makes sense. Each hits 250,000 points. You complete the mode, you get 1,000,000 points. None of these are a lot of points. They're about 1,000,000 points either. The trick is if you were to complete all 5 of them, you can get 20 million points. So there is some opportunity here for some points. Next up is the jewelry heist. The jewelry heist actually starts up here, and it's the mini loop. This one's pretty tough. I think you have, I believe it's 45 seconds. Yeah, 45 seconds for these. So you got 45 seconds for this one, you got 45 seconds for this one. To hit that mini orbit 3 times within 45 seconds is pretty tough. It's a tough shot, but there's a lot of, again, you're only going to get 1,000,000 points, so if you don't do it, it's not that big a deal. But you will see it quite a bit during your opportunity there. Now, Sewer Showdown is a little different. Hit the ball into the sewer hole, and you'll hit 3 different foot soldier drop targets within a minute. So this one, you actually are going to go down into the lower playfield, and you're going to try to hit drop targets as many times as you can. Each foot soldier you can hit is 250 million points. 250,000 points, not 250 million, 250,000 points. And when you complete the mode, it's 1,000,000 points. So again, the points in that one, if you're in the Sewer Showdown, the points are hitting the orbits, hitting the spot targets. You don't want to drain in that one. You want to try to stay down there as long as possible within that minute and rack up those points while you get the opportunity. Next up is the bank robbery. So the left ramp, inner ramp, and outer ramp. So 3 shots. Pretty simple, really. I finished it on my stream. If you haven't seen, I did a 2.5-hour stream yesterday on this. I was able to do this bank robbery in, like, I kid you not, 5 seconds. I had hit this ramp here, the blue ramp, the orange ramp, and the green ramp So boom, boom, boom. I hit all 3 of those within like 5 seconds. The mission's closed. 1 million points. Super easy. Doesn't mean that it's going to be every time, but you're going to get so good at shooting those ramps, that's going to be a really easy one to complete. The next one is Pizza Delivery Intercept. This one's tough to do. So Pizza Delivery Intercept is these 5 drop targets over here. If you really can't see them all that well, but they have pizza symbols on here, just like this drop target over here. So the ones over here, you have to hit this. When this mode starts up, you have 45 seconds to hit this drop the bank targets 5 times. This is a tough shot, so it's really tough to hit. When you complete it, again, it's 1 million points. And if for some reason you can get through all 5 of those modes, you will get City Cleanup Bonus, which is worth 20 million points. So that is the full tutorial of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for the Atgames system. I'll just play a little bit of a game here and see what you guys think. And then we'll wrap it up. So when I die, I die. Yeah, we'll start a game here. We'll just see how far I get, and
Time to put our ninja skills
that'll be it.
to the test. Remember, every shot counts.
There's your skill shot.
Ninja power.
So now we're in a katana combo, or we're not into the combo mode. And if they time out, which it looks like they're going to, yep, see that combo mode is now broken and it's no longer accessible. Every time I hit the slingshots, you'll notice that the modes are switching. Still got the skill shot, even though I didn't hit it right away.
Don't panic.
And we have our kickback on default when we started. Lost my shell shield, so if I wanted to reactivate that, you remember how? Left orbit. So this is the Leonardo ramp, or Leonardo spot of the orbit. Or you can hit Michelangelo and hit the orbit from the other side, which I just did. So I still need 7 rotations to get that ball save. And even though I'm in the combo mode, I can still work on getting my ball save. So you'll notice I got all 6 turtle targets. Now the lock mode is available. Or to start, I can start a multi-ball lock. There's my shell shield. We just locked that ball, so that's locked 1.
One is locked.
And now I also have start mode available, so we're going to go ahead and start that. Because I've hit Shredder enough times, we're going to go ahead and start a mode. Okay, I got to hit him one more time. And it says I currently have Ninja Training activated. So even though I'm in a combo mode, lost the ball.
Hit the pizza drop targets.
Oh, and now we're in pizza time. So you can see I was trying to go for a mode, but now it kicked me out and said, hey, you need to do this instead. Because I hadn't had anything selected within 45 seconds. So we're going to try to hit that 5 times. Obviously the timer is working against us right now. Very quick mode. Yeah, this is a tough one. So I got 7 seconds left. I'm not even going to bother with that. I'm going to let this time out, and I'm going to go ahead and start hitting Shredder again to try to start one of the modes. So there we go. Now we're in Ninja Training.
Hit the flashing target.
So these are, remember these all our targets are activated? That's 1. There's our orbit. You gotta hit both orbits, so basically from both sides. The capture holes I incorrectly said you had to select. I guess you do not for this. For some reason I thought you did. So my apologies on that. So just hit the targets that are lit. Luckily I still have my kickback. And again, this mode is not timed. So the 4 modes that we talked about that don't have special conditions are not timed modes. So I have all the time in the world. I reactivated my shell shield and I'm not worried. I got time. So I'm going to take my time, take my shots. There we go. Hit that one. You can hit the mini orbit. Missed that shot. Again, not timed. Just awesome to not have this be timing out. Luckily, my ball save was still on. I didn't lose that ball. Whoops. Okay, we're gonna try to settle this ball down. I'm gonna go straight up the middle. Miss the shot. These orbit shot, the little mini orbit, it's tough to hit, so you can see there, I'm trying to hit it in there, and it's a tough shot. But again, not timed. Makes a world of difference. So I just failed that mode, so it's gonna kick me out. All I had to do is continue to hit that mode, hit that shot, and hit that shot. That would have been phase 1 of ninja training, and then I would have had my splinter challenge, which would have been a random shot for the 10 million. So that's what we failed to do. It's a tough game, but it is fun.
Skill shot.
Now I hit that. Good to know that I could hit that on a backhand, though. I didn't know that I could do that necessarily. So that's cool.
Katana combo.
So we'll do this combo mode for a second here. See if we can't finish it. Nope, it's gonna time out. It times out pretty quick, as you see. Okay, 3 more hits. So we got 5 hits to start our first mode, and because I failed it, I can do that again.
Lock is lit.
It becomes harder and harder to get into the modes. So that's actually going to be ball 2 locked. So if we're working towards our turtle power multi-ball,
Sharp moves.
and I'm going to want to get my shell shield,
Solid hit.
I'm back into combo modes again.
Shell shield is activated.
Two more hits for Mutant Multi-Ball, or Mutant Mayhem. I'm gonna lose my ball again. Luckily, I have that shield shell. Shell shield. My goodness, it's so hard to say. Keep your shell shield whenever you have the opportunity. Very, very important to this game. Alright, so here's Mutant Mayhem. So that, remember, we have to hit our capture holes 3 times each. Not Shredder, even though it's really easy to hit Shredder. You want to hit these capture holes. There's one. You say it says Bebop, it's actually supposed to be rock steady on that side. That's what they screwed up. So there we go. Hit that one. Again, not timed. Boom. Hit that one. We're going to dead flip over to the other side. Boom. Hit that one. Okay, one more hit, I think, to each. Boom. So it says Bebop. Bebop defeated. Unfortunately, I lost the ball. I did not have my shell shield. What I could have done, and probably what I should have done, is continued to go for that shell shield by hitting that spinner over there to keep that ball going. But that is a quick gameplay of what we're looking at. So all of the things that we talked about, and I got 44 million points. Not a great score, not a terrible score. So that is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in a nutshell. Aha, see what I did there? Awesome. So, terrible puns are part of my shtick here, so if you enjoy that kind of thing, definitely stick around, like and subscribe. With that in mind, so I gave this game a 9. Yes, I think the theming is good, I think the callouts are good, I like the gameplay, I like the deep rule set, I love this game all so much. I wish they would have went even deeper with the theming. I think they could have went even a little better with a little 3D elements in the back. Maybe darken this out a little bit, change these flippers to maybe a green so that they're not quite as prominent. I think the stable is absolutely awesome. It's really hard to not give it a 10. Based on my older rating system, I would have given it a 10 because it is that fun. It has that one more game mentality. You want to play this game a lot. I played it for 2.5 hours and I couldn't get enough of it yesterday. I'm going to be playing this game a lot. I love the IP. Super fun table. But yes, I think I would like to see a little bit reuse less assets from the past. I want to see more new elements. These foot soldier elements are awesome. Really cool. I love the lower playfield. I love that it can't be overutilized or exploited. Love this table. Definitely needs to be a game in your pack. I hope you guys like this review and the tutorial for that matter. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if I missed anything. And as always, remember, you only need one ball for greatness. Keep plunging, guys, and we'll see you on the leaderboards.
See ya.